haven't done a vlog in a long time, and today I have a special reason, and it's going to be a very bittersweet reason. Uh, the beloved Street Cup that I've done, I don't know, what, 2, 3 videos, is selling. And so let's discuss. I was going to talk about 3 things. One of them, obviously, being the Street Cup, and a couple things that I was wrong about. And those are some of the items I might have talked about in those 3 or 4 videos that I made about it. Uh, Second thing I was going to talk about, I did end up replacing this, aka not really replacing it because I've been riding them for the same time for 9 months. I replaced this bike with an EV Livewire SD Del Mar 2. SD2 Del Mar. It's a Livewire. It's electric. I've been riding this and that back and forth, back to back on dailies, and so I have a few things to say about that. And then the third thing I'm going to talk about is why am I so bad at this, right? But those are the 3 things I'm going to talk about. But the main point is the bittersweet moment. This is going to be my last ride on my Street Cup. And I absolutely love this thing. And I've made a few wrong judgments about this. And that's why you own a bike. So that you can experience it and get the whole deal, and not just test ride it for 1 or 2 days or rent it for, maybe you might get to know a bike in a week like some of these reviewers do. I think somebody like Zach Quartz gets like a few weeks with a bike and he gets to know it and things like that. But really, if you want to get to know a bike, you got to live with it, right? And some bikes you love, some bikes you like, some bikes you want and lust, and other bikes you just, you're like, yeah, not for me. This bike kind of lands in the love it for the moment, didn't like it while living with it, and then now that it's leaving, I'm like, I love it again. Kind of a weird relationship. But you know what? The fact is, it's going goodbye. And let's get on it and do this last ride together, right? And by the way, this is the second time for me doing this. I changed helmets the first time I did this last ride, which was yesterday. I wore a different helmet, and the audio was absolutely atrocious. So I'm really hoping that this audio is a lot better. And that kind of piggybacks on the third subject that I'm going to talk about. Why is this so dang hard to get right? Vlogging. I mean, really. But back to the Street Cup. And wow, is that going to annoy me? I have these old gloves on because I couldn't find my other ones, and the Velcro is all worn out, and I got split seams, and they're just falling apart, and I'm just kind of done with Alpine Stars. It just degrades in the Texas heat. It's not an Italian problem. It's a Texas problem. So I don't blame Alpine Stars, but you know what? It just not much survives in the Texas heat. But you know what we're gonna do? I gotta hit a stint on a highway. So let's jump cut. Whoop! The beloved 2017 Triumph Street Cup. I've had it for sale for about 3-4 weeks. I've had a couple test rides. A couple people inquired about it. I got one low ball. That was kind of funny. They were like $4,200. I'm like, you're way off. And I was really hoping to keep this in the mid 6,000s, just because I overpaid for this bike for sure, because I bought it from a dealership. And here, don't buy used bikes from dealerships. Just don't do it. Just save up the extra money you need to pay cash, because you will just lose. The dealerships will always win, no matter how savvy, no matter how much you negotiate. They always are starting at a higher point, so it doesn't even matter. You overpay for the bike. So with that, I overpaid for the bike, but that doesn't matter because I rode it for a couple years and I have absolutely really enjoyed it. I never bought this thing for content. I never bought this thing for anything other than just experiencing the Bonneville Cafe Racer. I rode the Thruxton, I rode the T100, I rode the T120. I never rode the Speed Twin, which I regret because that's probably the bike I should have gotten. But I loved this look of the Street Cup, and I have just thoroughly enjoyed its ownership. And I think some previous videos I might have mentioned, it was a little too loud, the exhaust note. And I'm here to say I was wrong, absolutely wrong. And this is how I found out. Two ways. It was kind of a two-part system because, you know, being wrong is tough for some people, and they want to just stick to their, we got a wildlife situation. You know, they want to stick to their guns and think they make the right decisions and all that. And you know, honestly, I didn't sell this and get an EV bike because this was too loud. I just thought that it really was a loud bike, and for the statement you're trying to make on this bike and the fact that it's not the fastest and you're kind of throttling out of a lot of things, it just had a lot of noise making, and it felt kind of Harley-esque in that vibe. And that's not why I bought that bike. I did not buy this bike to, you know, be like a Harley light. I would have gotten a Harley Sportster if that's what I wanted, and I didn't. Where I was wrong, I found out I lent my friend this bike while he was in town for a few days, and I rode next to him in my other bike, and I realized as a external person riding next to this bike, it wasn't that loud at all. Even with the helmet on, helmet off, earplugs in, earplugs off, this bike from the sides and riding along with it, it's not loud. And so then I changed helmets, and I was like, well, how come this bike's not that loud right now? And I was like, well, maybe it just changed my perception. But then I put on this helmet that I'm currently wearing right now, and it resonates. There's some bass frequency in the exhaust that resonates in this helmet, and that's what I've been experiencing, and that's why I thought it was too loud. It was just this booming noise in my helmet. And even with the earplugs take out the higher frequencies often, or the peaks, but it doesn't really do a whole lot muffling of the bass. The bass still comes through, and that's why I think I might have thought this bike was too loud, because this was sort of my go-to helmet when riding this bike. And I rode this helmet on another bike, and I was like, oh, okay, wait a minute, I kind of hear that bass resonance of a different exhaust note, which was also a twin. You know, twins tend to be bassier. So I was wrong. This bike is wonderful. It's fantastic, and I'm hoping it goes off to a new owner. The deal is happening, at least 95% happening, and it's going to go off to a good home, and I'm really happy about that. And I've really enjoyed it myself. I've been a good steward of the Bonneville. I did do a couple scratches here and there. You know, I wish it didn't. Sat in a garage with a lot of other bikes, and yeah, I regret that. So, on to the second subject. So the EV bike I bought, it's a Livewire S2 Del Mar. The S2 stands for the platform it's on, which is the battery and the motor and the electronics. And the Del Mar kind of stands for the model, the flat tracker aesthetic that they went for to sort of harness back the older 60s, 70s Harley look. It's a really skinny bike. It's a very handsome looking bike. I'll flash some pictures of it. The content videos that I've made with that bike have been awful. Like, literally nobody watches them. And then the comment section is always a couple people that are just like, you're an idiot for fucking buying an EV bike. You know, whatever. I like to experience different things. It's not my only bike, and I'm not going to say that the EV bike really is for me, because now that I've ridden it for coming on about a year, and I've owned this, I never sold this. My whole plan was to trade this in for an EV. And I never sold this because I liked it too much. And so I just kept the both of them at the same time, and then I kept my Aprilia as a track bike in the background, and then I've rented quite a few other bikes on sort of my flyaway trips. And so I've ridden a lot of things now over the past year and a half, 18 months, whatever. Let's call it 8 or 9 bikes where I've spent some, you know, good amount of time. And EV's not my favorite. It's not. It's awesome in the early morning in traffic with a full battery. Oh my God, is it absolutely amazing? It pulls so hard, flies between traffic. I'm always ahead of everybody. I make zero noise. Popping the wheelie up a little bit here and there, and, taking off fast and just getting around. Where it really starts to die is the obviously the range. I don't need to tell you that. Everybody knows it. And the more fun you have with the bike, the more it drains. And I was like, I'll be able to temper this. You can't. You can't. The battery just drains so fast. And I proved it by, I was doing a lot of alone rides, and you'd hit that 40% battery left, and you'd ease off the throttle, take it easy. But guess what I did? I went on a small group ride where the pace is going to be higher, and they don't have a battery meter to go by. And within like the first 40 minutes of the ride, the bike was done. I was instantly into range anxiety. Like, I can't do this. I'm gonna have to find a charger now to get home, and these guys aren't interested in finding a charger, and it's just, so you can't ride it on group rides. You can't have fun if you want to go anything longer than 40, 50 miles. If you really want to be boring and try to be one of these YouTubers that tries to max out the mileage and drive it like a Prius and everything, who the fuck wants to do that? You don't buy a 0 to 60 2.8 second bike to figure out it can go 85 miles versus 80 miles because you put some special windscreen on it or something. Like, it's so stupid. So I commend Harley and Livewire for getting to the market with it, right? But man, this platform's not going to go anywhere. I'm sorry. It's not. And here's a little funny tidbit. A Wall Street journalist got a hold of me for quotes on the Livewire. And I actually gave some quotes. And he might use them in an article. And I'm pretty curious to see if he actually follows through on that. So, kind of funny. Third subject. We all know the Livewire sucks, so let's move on from that before my sun goes down and my ride is over. I pretty much suck at vlogging. I haven't done a whole lot of this. Audio is hard. Equipment, not that video camera equipment, not that hard. Audio is content, really, really hard. But guess what? You know where all my shit falls apart. None of it follow through at all is in the editing process. Oh my God, is editing so hard, and I'm just not that good at it. And I know quite a few, probably really successful YouTubers obviously hire professional editors, because don't try to edit yourself if you don't know what you're doing, because that's, you can make the best content in the world, and if you have bad editing, no one cares. It's just, editing is really, really hard. And so capturing good content, good quality audio, that's just part of it. And the last equation, which is what the EV bike told me, is you gotta have a perfect mix of interesting things to say, charisma, good technical prowess on getting and capturing that charisma and that content, and then you need fantastic editing, and then you kind of need a little bit of luck to see, what if you do a bike and that bike nobody cares about and whatever, or maybe you do a subject that, just nobody cares about. It's just really difficult, and it's very time consuming, and if you don't, I wish I could do it more because it's pretty fun, but yeah, I got other shit to do, like ride bikes for fun without worrying about the content. Oh my Lord, is that the loudest Prius I've ever heard. It's just flat. You can't hear a word I'm saying right now. Jesus Christ! What the fuck was that? Maybe that'll make good content. All right, let's end the video there. It's already too long. Crazy kooky Prius guy kind of interrupted my flow there. So really appreciate the watch. If you're interested in this Street Cup and you stumbled on this video and you never watched anything else from me, you might want to check out the previous videos I've done on this bike. Go over a little bit of Bonneville history, go over the Street Cup model, why it exists, why it's kind of special, why I liked it so much. There's that video where I talk about how it's too loud. So yeah, maybe you're interested, but no more content after this video. So yeah, appreciate the watch if you got it this far. Take it easy, ride safe, and see you later. Bye.